Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us back here at Kesselrun Resources channel. We're, of course, sitting here once again with Michael Thompson, and today we want to dive into some slight company updates and dive into the industry. There's been a lot going on lately in the industry, but first off, Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Doing pretty well myself. So first and foremost, tell us the general updates of what's been going on, how things are going for you.
Yeah, I mean, we put out a news release about just a little under a month ago. Drilling's been ongoing. We've had a couple challenges. I mean, drill breaking down, and as everybody knows, the supply chain issues. It's just everything takes a little bit longer to get parts and to get. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. But we're plugging away. Getting ready for winter, getting the camp all winterized and getting everything set for that, because winter will be here sooner rather than later.
Yep. Winter is always coming, and there's always some
Yep.
logistical and operations issues that pop up. But glad to see things are still going well there.
Yeah.
And from there, yeah. Speaking of, you usually speak about a month ago. The past month has looked relatively good for gold. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think I mean, in the last 30 days or so, it's up probably about $100. The inflation numbers that came out yesterday, I believe it was, I think were a bit of a shocker, and then people are finally grasping that this transitory inflation means it will eventually end, but that might mean it goes on for quite a while, and there's a lot going to be repercussions. Yeah. As we've in the gold sphere, we all know that, and this is why we're doing what we're doing. So I think finally people are coming to the full realization, say, hey, I better get some exposure to gold, start buying some bullion, and start dipping into the miners and the junior explorers.
Yeah, very well said. This is something we talked about plenty times before, and you're right. It is kind of the go-to in the gold industry. Inflation has been creeping up, and this past year has been very bad in terms of the amount of money being created. So it's kind of an inevitability, and it seems like you said, the market's starting to respond a little bit now as people are catching on. And last but not least, I wanted to talk to you about the overall image of mining and how mining as a whole has been improving environmentally and such, with a lot of ESG related things coming on, which is like environment, society, and governance. Tell us how things have improved versus like people's traditional, I'd almost say 90s image of giant miners destroying the earth and people just making slick deals.
Well, I mean, yeah, when I started in the industry, it was a lot Wild West like than it is now. I mean, the shady characters and that. I mean, it's cleaned up quite a bit. I mean, on the sort of the junior side. I mean, on the mining side, I can attest. Like one of my first jobs, I was mapping a copper zinc mine for an old project from the 30s, and it was a disaster. Like they didn't know any better, right? They just dumped everything, and it looked like a war zone. It looked like looked like a battlefield. It was incredible. And it got cleaned up. I mean, but that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, there's a lot of money is put into designing tailings and making sure the environmental monitoring is ongoing and up to snuff. A lot of money that goes into closure plans. So basically money that's held in trust. So in case the company goes bankrupt, the money is there for the government to take and sort of clean up those sites and make sure it's closed properly. So I think it's improved a lot. I mean, the footprint of mining, I mean, it's so minuscule compared to other things. I mean, just as an example, I was out doing some project evaluation last week and driving through clear cuts. I don't want to badmouth the forest industry, but I mean, the footprint of a clear cut is so much bigger than the footprint of a mine, and it's so small, and the footprint that exploration leaves is minuscule as well. So yeah, it's people don't realize that. They see pictures of these giant pits, and they are few and far between.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's definitely a big difference between what is often portrayed, and on top of it, people need to remember that mining is one of the most important industries we have. If you have anything made out of metal, it came out of the ground. It's a biggest backbone of our industries.
Yeah, the old saying, if it can't be grown, it's got to be mined.
Yep. Agreed. Well, all
Yeah.
right, Michael, thank you for coming on and thank you for giving us some updates and discussing the industry with me. If any of you guys have any questions about anything, let us know. If there's anything specific in the industry you want us to dive into, we'll happily do so. But for now, stay tuned for another update coming soon. Mike, any closing words?
Oh, just keep an eye on the market. I mean, we're drilling away. I think the gold market's gonna start really getting some traction, and yeah, good things to come.
All right, sounds good. Well, again, thank you for your time today and thank you everyone for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Cheers.